Hello everyone and welcome to the Hungarian for Superlights. This is round 10 and I'm joined once again by David Jundt with Szymon Frelik on cameras. Hello David, how are you?
Hello Toby. Fine, I'm fine, thanks.
Just fine? Not excited about another fantastic Superlights race?
Well, yeah, I'm excited. I was a bit excited when people pre to the race talked about some, well, wet conditions again, but I've been fooled. There's gonna be dry, but we'll see what's gonna be the case like without anything.
I think we've all been fooled. It's very sunny there. You can see all the shadows from the trees out on track. Sorry we're slightly later, my fault today. But thank you for joining us. We are in the qualifying session already. And currently Mogyoród tops the session with Dylan Platt P2. We have the Belgian Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time, and then we have a 4-week break until Italy. So do stay in touch in that period and rejoin us for the Italian Grand Prix. But right now we are at Hungary, and we are looking at one of the TR Geeks cars out on track right now. There's quite a few people filling in. Actually, at this round, we've got a few people who I don't recognise their name. We've got Sophie Jones, for example, in P12. We are currently on board with Alexander Ragosa, though, as he goes through the middle sector. Currently sitting in P19 without a time on the board, so he'll be looking to get this lap in. And the final sector coming up now, he's run a little bit wide, so this lap will not count. Into the final couple of corners now, though. But this track all about downforce, David, isn't it? It's all about maximising the wing settings that you have. It's very twisty.
Yeah, indeed. I should usually like such kind of tracks. Like I feel like I'm more downforce reliant than others that make it with low wings. But the nature of the track to me is not quite my preferred one. But I guess there's out there some that really like this track.
This is Fabian Baller for TX3. He is replacing Ragusa for this round. Fabrizio Gobbi in the other car. Here's Lorenzo Cappellini crossing the line for 10th place currently. His teammate Zongoli just improves to 13th as well. Who else have we got? We've got Christos Berzins for Valley Esports as well, filling in for this round. And we also have Jan Sakura rejoined for TTF. He was in the last round as well, I believe. Who else do we have? I think, Brody Lawless is for Fusion. That should be fun. So we'll keep an eye on him too. Here's Dominique Rochevin for Team Balash Esports. He's gone green in the first two sectors. So Dominique looking to improve his current 9th place position, coming through the final couple of corners, nice and tight on the apex there. And then this corner goes on seemingly forever. You can have a nice late apex here, which Dominique picks up nicely. Runs through the exit curb as well and crosses the line, moves up a place to P8 on the grid.
Here we have Gobbi. Let's see.
Yeah.
Another favorite today again. Hoping he's got more luck than, example, Canada. And here, 1:18.0. But I think that was, 4th place so far. Quite a bit of a gap up ahead to Mogyoród right now. And Brody is 5th, so there is. I've already seen Brody does have I think he's a raw diamond. I think he's got speed and talent. It just needs to work a bit on the racecraft, I think. But he seems to be working well with the Fusion car, while his teammate Remco is now up to P13.
Absolutely. That's a good time from Brody Lawless up in P5. Here's Joseph Herlock for Red Hour Racing coming through the final corner now. He's had 2 sectors not personal bests, so he has to pick it up in this final couple of corners and does not improve. So I would have abandoned that lap probably. If he's not going to improve, he would have known that from his delta. Interesting that he chose to continue. Nevertheless, Hygo Poom coming through the last corner now for TR Geeks, and he improves to P5. Jan Sakura also has moved up to P6. That's a good time from him.
Red Arrow might probably maybe missing a bit of Christian Pascal's pace today, and we have Luca Gray also standing in there. I got to know this before this round, so could have probably been me in it if I was available, but even if they're like my old Formula Challenge team back then with Chris Butcher, team champions. Yeah, sadly couldn't do it, so hoping Luca Gray will have a good day tonight for them.
Yeah, Luca Gray, I think I know Luca Gray because he used to race against his dad in supercars, believe it or not. So yeah, fun link there. So he was like, I recognise your name. He messaged me one day and he was like, I recognise your name. You used to race against my dad. I was like, yep, sounds right. There's Dylan Platt then. So he's the closest challenger currently to our championship leader. He's set a purple first sector and a green middle. So purple being overall best, green being personal best. Across the line now. Improves his time, doesn't get quite as close, or doesn't get closer to Mogyoród, who sets an almost identical lap time, but not good enough to improve his lap time overall. But it did do a purple first, so perhaps there's a slight mistake in that first sector and that current pole time for Mogyoród. His teammate Sandeep Singh, the traditional 5/10 off, but that actually puts him P3 at this round. So let's keep an eye out on Sandeep, see if he can have a better race than what he's been having recently. Is Noah Tuomela, and he is coming through the middle sector now. He's half a second off, and that looked a little wide as well, pushing a little bit too much through the apex. You've got to stay on that rubber. You can see that dark rubber line that develops throughout the session. You've got to stay on that. That's where the optimal grip is. And if you come off that rubber, it can mean that you have a lot less grip, and that kind of bore out in his middle sector time, which is green. So, but he's going to box. He knows that lap is not good enough.
Mitchell in the Drake. I seem to have missed that Luke is standing in for Thierry van Bussel, and Luke, of course, as a FS2 championship leader, if I'm correct. I'm already forgetting because I raced him in the rain at Nürburgring. But yeah, another one to look out for tonight, because he's certainly got the speed. Maybe not right now, as Flavius Ngoli is up into P12. That's kind of nice by him right now.
Absolutely. That's a good lap time from him to be only a second off. Yeah, Luke Mitchell, a very tidy driver in FS2. He is our reserve driver in THR, but cannot do the Hungary round in 2 days' time. We are not having either of the Maguires for Hungary. They've both selfishly decided to go with Liam Duval to Spa to watch the F1. So part of the reason that I guess Liam's not here, although I haven't seen him for a while, but both Luke and Adam will not be here Thursday, which is a bit frustrating for the THR Nocturne group. But nevertheless, Luke Mitchell would have stood in, but didn't. And Gobby goes P2, by the way. But yeah, Mitchell would have stood in, but he's unable to. So we're actually still looking for a driver, actually.
That's an interesting segue, by the way, because I've just looked back into the history, and I think if I remember correctly, like previous winners, 2020 include Liam Duval, and I think the 2022 winner was one of the THR drivers. That was, I think, Luke Maguire.
Yeah, so, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have them on Thursday for us, at least as a team. But Jan Shakura here, look, TTF. He is green, and he's P8 currently. It's been a decent couple of races for him. He showed decent pace last time out as well at Silverstone. So he is certainly looking to press on and moves up to P6, relegating Bala and Poom.
Very good up there. I mean, top 6, that's already another, as I say, performance improvement. I'm really liking this, that TTF is also picking up speed again. They sometimes have a bit maybe trouble finding drivers or holding onto them, but right now they've seem to have a very good driver pair at the wheel.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty decent car here as well. Let me have a quick look at the development stats for this round. Yeah, they do. Yeah, because you have to discount the kind of pit tire change stat, if you like. So yeah, they've got a pretty good car for this round. Dreig on paper have a very good car. Road to Formula, the best for this round. So which is enhancing Mogyoród's. Oh, as Mitchell spins out the final corner. I wonder if he's running with the drag setup that they've been using all season, which seems to have had absolutely no traction whatsoever.
Nicely held though.
Yeah.
10-10.
Yeah, but he boxes and he will not be able to go back out on track and set another lap time. Unfortunately for Mitchell, he is in P17. He's Sandeep Singh though, and he's coming through the first sector now. Singh looking to improve on his P4 currently. He's not actually improved his lap time since we discussed, but he's done a personal best in the first sector. So let's see what Singh can do as he heads towards the chicane at the end of this short shoot. You want to take a limited amount of curb through here. It does unsettle the car if you take too much. That was pretty much spot on, and he rides the curbs nicely. Actually, this car looks pretty settled as he comes through the sweeping S's section of the track. Don't want to run too wide out of this corner. The curb will bite you and spin you off. And he comes through the second sector. It's not a personal best. He's 2/10 off actually, and he missed the apex just a little bit as he heads towards the penultimate corner now. Get it in nice and tight. Hug that apex, let it run wide, cross the pit entry, and then here, a nice late apex required for the best possible run onto the start-finish straight. He opens the steering, comes across the rumble strip, and he crosses the line. Does move up to P2 for Singh. Only 4/10 off pole. Here's Francesconi then. He can do something as well. He set a personal best first sector, slightly off in the second. Runs very wide out of the penultimate corner into the last corner now. And Michael Francesconi, he doesn't have his... Whoa, as he runs very wide out of the final corner. That is not going to be an improvement. It is P5 for Francesconi. Who else have we got on track? Mogyoród going for another lap. This is more of a glory run, but he is over a 10th up through that middle sector. Gets the apex much nicer than his teammate. Heads towards the final couple of corners now. This is looking very good for Mogyoród. He heads into the last corner now. Turns in the front end, trying to wash out on him. Perhaps a little bit too much apex speed. He's pushing very hard. Across the line does improve, and that secures pole position probably for Owen Mogyoród. I don't think there's anyone else on track that can take that away from him.
That was very mighty middle sector that made him gain the time on his last run, but very nice. By the way, Sandeep Singh got Toby by 1,000 for now third. Since I think I'm not sure if I missed Dylan Platt going up to second again or he was already there, but yeah, tight battle there in the top 5 still.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely tight battle, but once again, it's sort of a tight battle from second onwards, isn't it? It's a bit like Max Verstappen in Formula 1 these days, but Mogyoród does take pole position from Platt. Sandeep Singh P3, which is one of his best qualifyings of the season. Gobby P4, Michael Francesconi P5, Jan Sikora in P6, Fabian Baller for TX3 in 7th place, Heigl Poom in 8th. Brody Lawless takes a top 10 on his debut in Superlights with Joseph Herlock behind him for Red Arrow in P10. 11th, Dominique Khoshevin. In 12th place, we got Flavio Zongoli. Remco Dzeo in 13th place. It's Alexander Rogoza in 14th. Tom van der Voort in 15th place with Lorenzo Cappellini for HD Esports in 16th. Luke Mitchell in 17th place for Drag with Silva Joffer for TTF in 18th. 19th place, Sophie Jones for Valor Esports with Killian Hewitt in 20th place. And then the last 4 drivers. We've got Christus Berzins, Luca Gray, Noah Tuumela, Mano Manikandan, and a strange Your Name driver. I feel like someone has joined the server and hasn't changed their name properly.
Maybe it's the Kastner first name, last name. Sorry.
Very good, very good. Well, there we go. So Mano Manikandan, we saw him last time out at Silverstone. He's joined very late here. Let's hope he's done a little bit more preparation than he did last time out. I don't think he lasted very long in the race. So we move into warm-up then. So the drivers will get 10 minutes to prepare for the race. And just your thoughts on that qualifying session then, David. It was pretty... I mean, you wouldn't put any money against anyone else taking pole position this season, would you? But Mogyoród once again showing his domination.
Did I? I'm like, I've I've cursed somebody already in Canada when somebody like was, or when Owen was not quite up to his probably AA or AAA standard. But yeah, I wouldn't put anything against him now. I mean, also nothing against team like TX3. Like, I mean, we've still got Toby here. We've got Vale standing in for Ragusa, but maybe slightly not on the money right here. I mean, of course, there's still Toby's still like up there in P4 if I remember right. So still there, but of course the gap here is now. Well, we've got like as you mentioned the Mox stopping gap here, but yeah, again, I wouldn't manage get it past like Owen, but they're still not slow. But as you said, I'm missing a bit of the they're going the reasoning. Like we've got a tight battle behind them, but like Owen's on the front. So yeah, I'm saying no money against him, but we'll see, because I already feel like some of the stand-in reserve drivers already showing that, like showing themselves to not just their teams but maybe others too, that they are quite a skilled pair of hands. On which case I also saw that Vale, I think, has both drivers missing this time. So Mike Layers and Massimiliano Riboli, the team owners, are not here. So we've got Sophie Jones and what's it again? Christos Berzins.
Yeah.
Probably a late addition, but I'm glad both cars are filled. Might be a bit. I mean, jumping into the deep waters here, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's an expensive way of doing things, having lots and lots of drivers. So there is budget and financial implications of having different drivers drive for your team in Superlights. It's just like Super League. Behind the scenes, there is a development system that's in place. So you have effectively a budget to spend. You have to sign sponsors, sign staff with differing stats to produce different developments at different rates. And throughout the season, you have to accrue research and development points by using third drivers at test events. They happen every race. So there's a 30-minute test session before every race for a third driver to do as well. It's a very interesting system. There's also engine wear and engine choices, so you can choose different engines at different rounds too. So it's a very interesting system. It's very well refined these days as well. And that system, obviously with your limited budget, the point I'm making is if you sign a lot of drivers on emergency contracts, that is an expensive way of racing. Actually, it's better to have two primary drivers throughout the season, and those drivers to stay in the car throughout the season, basically. If you sign emergency drivers, they cost kind of a signing on fee, and of course there are additional contracts to be bought as well. So it means you can't quite put as much money into your car perhaps that you would otherwise like to. So it is better to have a stable driving pair.
Something I can say, I've not always managed in my time as a team owner. Like, it sometimes wasn't easy, and of course you've got to. It's a pricey thing if you having to go to an emergency driver instead of just the normal reserve you have for the season. So the more I mean, there's maximum 4, of course, again, even for emergency. But yeah, the more you have to resort to them, it's gonna get more expensive. It depends what kind of deals you signed, like how well you are cautioned, and if you can really like make use of it. I mean, depending on results, and as I said, on some of the sponsorship deals through negotiations he had before the season. So sometimes it can be like, okay, it works out, but of course you prefer you have your designated pair in the car and drive, and not have to waste too much budget on a stand-in driver. Unless, of course, you've got a very, very good one that comes in and just right on the pace already. But yeah, ideally you would keep the guys in that are destined to drive from the get-go.
Of course, it depends on their sort of life commitments as well. Some drivers cannot do every round for various reasons, and obviously you take that into account. But quite often, I feel like it's certainly at this stage of the season, particularly seemingly in Superlights as well. I think guys sort of they get kind of fed up of being middle pack or towards the back, and we've seen certain drivers drop out over the years. Liam Duval seems not wanting to turn back up for Superlights, for example, so which I understand, but it's frustrating as a team owner if you've committed to that driver and then they don't commit back to you, so it can be frustrating. But of course there's prize money in terms of virtual prize money in Superlights, so if you do a good job, you get additional budget towards your basically towards your RD costs, which is effectively what you're doing. You're effectively trying to develop the car as well behind the scenes, so you're balancing overall costs with that too. So it's a very interesting system, and you can see the fruits of the team's developments if you go to gpvwc.com and highlight the competitions drop down and select Superlights. You go to the development tab there and see what people are doing in different areas, and there are a variety of different areas you can upgrade too. So there's front wing, rear wing, diffuser, different masses that you can reduce, so weight can come off the car. There's obviously body drag as well. You can upgrade the torque of the engine. It's very interesting.
Yeah, like even I haven't figured out what. I mean, we've had some clues or some pointers from like the last season, like when Brasilia was still in Super League. Not much, but there seems to be something which I think most teams are not trying that particular upgrade. So it remains to be seen if it would be as powerful or be as useful on this car. Yeah, chassis mass and component mass were the two masses. Usually very powerful, as you always want to have less weight on anything, car, components. Although on many, except like I think one, I'm recalling it right now, not, but most, of course, the overall gain is bigger than the loss, but there is a kind of a disadvantage, a downside to upgrading one thing that on the other hand you will actually gain mass if you think increase the, I don't know, downforce or something, but there's like a crossover of something getting slightly worse. But of course in total, if it's just like pure lap time on an ideal lap time, you gain of course on time. So it's interesting though, very interesting.
Yeah, there are other factors at play too. So for example, if you upgrade your rear wing, inside the car setup menu, you can have up to 30 clicks of wing, so between 1 and 30. If you upgrade your rear wing, you will have almost like an offset, so you'll have to run, let's say 30 on the front wing, but then like 26 on the rear wing if you upgrade your rear wing. So what that means is at a track like this, if you're facing someone who's upgraded the rear wing and the front wing, they're actually able to run more overall downforce. So in that case, it would be better to run or to develop both the front and rear wing, which some teams have done, some teams haven't done for this round. So at a track like this where you're kind of downforce limited, you want to run maximum wings if you can. If you haven't got a front wing upgrade, which some teams don't, TG for example, TG Racing only have a 47% developed rear wing. They're missing out. They're not able to run as much downforce as they would otherwise like. So,
by the way, we just saw the HG, I think what Blue Bolt cars in information. Just fun fact, because I think I've slightly looked at the penalty list or like the protests that came in. There's not been much on it. We've had one, I think, a failure to press escape after turn 1, and another one where an incident was, I think, reported. But I was just thinking of it when I saw the two cars again, just as a fun fact that Flavio Zongoli has, I think, 9 license points of 10, so yes. He's probably being very careful that nothing else happens. Of course, this is nothing against him, I'm just saying that that's just how well the license points are right now after some incidents. And when talking about his team, I think Capellini has 5 out of 10, just saying.
Yeah, Zongoli picked up about 4 of those, I think, in one incident at Canada that we saw. So yeah, he needs to be extremely careful. Make sure he does not contravene the rules further, or he will be getting a ban of some kind. I'm just having a look at the report. Yeah, so Zongoli got 5 license points on his license at Canada for a variety of misdemeanors. So he will have to be careful. And as you say, I don't think is there any? No, there's no grid penalties for this round. Ragosa did get a 5-second time penalty and 1 license point for spinning Remco de Zeo at the British Grand Prix. But other than that, no penalties.
Yeah, nothing else. Just, I think the only driver so far this season that had to serve a ban yet, I think that was legendary Alex Lehu.
Yeah. Yep.
Not saying this for the wrong reasons. He's just like everyone has we have had a few people that are always like well known, maybe sometimes for the wrong reasons, but Alex is already a good member of the league, so let's just shout out to him there.
He's very quick, Alex. I will give him that. Just need to. I think he has bad luck too, but he needs to work on not putting himself into situations where luck can get at him. Do you know what I mean? It's all very well and good saying that you have bad luck, but just don't put yourself in situations where you can get in contact with other drivers and so on, you know?
Yeah. I think I saw the example of this in Silverstone, like a lap 1 in slightly damp conditions. I think there was slight contact, and I'm not sure how the outcome of that one will be, but at the same time he completely shattered me in comparison on pace. I've started from like the pits anyway, but yeah, he's got some good pace out of the car. Ours is not too bad for ER, so he's a decent driver. It's just maybe confidence and concentration at the right moment. That's what I want to say.
I think it's more just taking a back step occasionally, you know, just looking in at a situation unfolding and saying, do I really need to put my nose there? Do I really need to cut that guy off?
Yeah.
You know, most of the time, if you do those things, let's say you'll get away with it 3 times out of 10. That's not a good percentage. Sometimes you have to play the percentages, and if I make this move now, it could work, and I might make the position up, but if I do, most of the time, I might make contact with someone else, and that could affect my race later on, and that's the sort of gambles that you have to sort of look at and not take on. So we're heading to race now, David. Let's see what happens in this one. It'll all be about whether Mogyoród can get a gap early on, I would say.
Indeed. We'll see, like, if he's got a better start than someone else on Sunday.
Who?
Someone. But I'm not sure. There should be a bit more grip on the left side, of course.
Yeah, on this on the virtual world that we're in, the rubber line is on the left-hand side of the grid, and that is where pole position is. So that is where the drivers will get the better launch, especially if they've not driven down the right side during warm-up. So let's just run through the grid again quickly. Mogyoród's on pole, followed by Dylan Platt, Sandeep Singh P3, with Gobby in the TX3 car in P4. 5th place is Michael Francesconi for TG Racing Esports. 6th place is Jan Shikora. Fabian Bale in 7th with Heiko Pulm in P8. P9, Brody Lawless with Joseph Herlock in P10 for Red Arrow Racing. Then in 11th place, and the first driver to choose whichever tyres they want is Dominic Karashamin in 11th place. Flavio Zongoli in 12th, with Remco de Zeo behind him on row 7, with Alexander Ragosa in P14. Tom Fantafort for Drag Racing is in 15th place. I missed who was 16th. Luke Mitchell 17th, Sylvia Yoffair 18th position, Sophie Jones 19th. Killian Hewitt in 20th position. In 21st is Berzins with Luca Gray 22nd, Norn Pulmella in 23rd, Mano Manikandan in 24th place. 16th was Lorenzo Capellini, that's the driver.
it seems like did the second was it the PCCV, the teammate of Mandi Kandan? Is he not starting? Like I thought I missed that one.
I don't know what he's saying in the chat, but he's in the pit lane seemingly, so we'll see if he starts or not. So these are the tyres that everyone's chosen. So top 10 have to start on the soft tyres they qualified on. In 11th place though, we've got Horshavin on the hard tyres. Zongoli's gone soft, and
you can read that wrong. He's gone soft. Yeah, it's interesting. I think I saw already some people I think Silver Joffert qualified on the harder compounds or already tested it there, so maybe that was already getting ready for race conditions. But yeah, I think I seem to be missing the second PCCV car, so maybe just one starting then.
Tuomela and Manikandan seem to be in the pit lane, and I think some contact seems to have happened on the formation lap between the two. So Tuomela seemingly unable to. I think there's been some contact. There's been some contact, and they're both having to start from the pit lane. Anyway, the 5 lights are on, and they are out, and away we go. Mogyoród gets a good start. Dylan Platt sweeps across, but he has not got a good getaway. It looks like Sandeep Singh straight up into P2, and there's huge contact further back. I didn't see who that was in the wall, but it looked pretty race-ending to me. Singh early on the brakes, so it's allowed Platt back through, and Singh's back up the inside now. There's a TX3 on his inside as well. But through Sector 1 they go, and Mogyoród still leads, but there was some chaos further back. I'd like to see what happened exactly. It looks like Francesconi's had a great start. He's moved up into 2nd place. So Michael Francesconi, late on the brakes in Turn 1, managed to sweep through, and he moves himself up into P2. So a great start for him. Further back, we have got a couple of slow cars. It will be interesting to see who was involved. I fear that Silver Joffer was involved. And looks like Lorenzo Capolini involved as well. Perhaps. So Manikandan and Tuomela do start from the pit lane. They did get it back out onto track, so good for them. Lawless is up to P7 as well, so a good getaway from him. But Francesconi getting the best jump out of the top 5.
It was. I could spot from out of the eye. Oh no! Oh, that was. It's just gonna be. Oh no.
Yeah, Brody Lawless pushing Gobby wide. I have to say, I was fearful that might happen in this race. He has not had a cleanest start to his GPVWC, Brody Lawless. He was involved in a few incidents at Canada and FS2 as well. But he has already pushed Gobby around, and Gobby is, unfortunately for him, moved down into 12th position. So Lawless... it's lap 1 of his Superlights debut, and he's already involved in some contact. He's now got the other TX3 driver behind him, of Fabian Bale, but look at the gap that's opened out in front of them. Singh down to P5, by the way, off the start. He will not be happy with that.
No, so, but I mean, 5th could be worse, but there's already a gap behind them. As we see the restart, the replay of the start. Oh no, that was, I don't know, I'm not sure. Did Cappellini
what is going
turn
on there?
right?
What
Didn't see Silver Joffert?
Yeah, but
oh boy.
Yeah, but Joffert just kept his foot in it throughout the entire straight. Like he just stayed there. I think it was Joffert. I'd like to see on board with Joffert, but if I'd love to see his throttle trace here. Just what does he expect's going to happen? Just stop pushing him.
Harry Keller Schumacher gone wrong.
Like obviously Cappellini's moved over on him 100%, but. Here's Francesconi's lightning getaway. So Singh was ahead at that point. He was de facto P2, but look at this. This is what I was saying about the rubber line. Francesconi just braking nice and late into the empty space. Sweeps around the outside of Singh, Platt, moves himself up in P2. Yeah, really good getaway.
Really, really nice outside pass, like a true Nelson Piquet. or a true Sue when it would have happened.
Was it 85 against Senna?
No.
Oh, keep your foot on the brake.
Very nice spin. Oh! Yeah, I've already looked at the historics of the Grand Prix. He was 86 with
86, my bad.
Wonderful pass.
Yeah, this is Senna. Yep, very good. Have a look at that on YouTube, by the way, guys, after the race. It's a very good sideways moment for PK. Sweeps around the outside, wonderful driving. So here's Joseph Herlock. He's in P9 for Red Arrow. Brody Lawless in P6 on my screen appears to be on the wrong tyre. He appears to be on not the soft that he qualified in the top 10 on, so that will be, if the case, an automatic disqualification for Lawless.
That was a big moment for Poom. He nearly lost the car there. Very nicely held just before going off. Oh, that would be really terrible if he had broken the tire rule. I thought his team would probably warn him.
Oh, it's on the curb of death. Well saved, Heigl Poom. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier on. Those corrugations really can spit you out into the wall. You've got to be super careful running wide there. Moritz Kropp did that last year in Formula Sprint 1. Threw away a P2. Wasn't very happy about that. But Heigl Poom gets away with this one and is P8. I'd love to check the tyres that Brody Lawless is on. According to RaceView, it says he's on medium tyres. But if he is on softs, that's what he qualified on. What does that mean?
If he starts in the top 10, then yeah.
He's okay, so he's on the wrong. Okay, so Szymon just said he might be on the wrong upgrade in terms of. So you can select different things before you join the server on your car. It's showing a greyed out tyre, which I didn't think the upgrade option to do that was selectable, to be honest.
Neither did I. I thought it would be locked in like for the round for the specific server. So yeah, I'm surprised.
Well, I'm not sure.
I never tried to change it because that's kind of the rules. You just what it sets it for you. So surprises me.
Does that mean potentially if he had all compounds selected, does that mean he was potentially qualifying on the wrong compound as well? Does he? That's a very, yeah, very interesting problem for them to solve.
I'm not sure if we had this, like, I'm not sure if we had someone at the first race this year, or I think we had last year something about wrong tire choice, but, well, I'm not sure right now, because I've never really thought about this, so this is now really just guessing game as he nearly loses the back end there.
I'm not sure how you prove you're on the right tyre at all with, after the race finishes, if you're... Okay, so he can send his login. Okay, fine. Szymon giving me the info. In my ears, you can't hear what he says. But okay, fine, cool. Well, let's just hope that he's on the right compound for Brody Lawless's and Fusion's sake. But for now, the gap has opened up to over a second between the leading two. So unless Francesconi has just nicked DRS this time around, I think Gorky has just cleared him. And it does look like the wing is not open on Francesconi's car, although he is gaining down the straight. So he's got to stick as close as he can now for this lap. If he loses DRS, I fear that might be race over. Here's Bala then going for the inside of Lawless, and Lawless driving pretty defensively there, but did a decent job of keeping Bala behind him. And
Lawless seemed to be hesitating if he should go or should not go, but I'm seeing that's probably the same theme as like those don't touch, more like keep the train going, not hold each other up if you're already like missing a few seconds. But it really seemed like he was hesitating a second there to go past, as we see the incident between Brody and Gopi here.
Just a bit overzealous on the throttle pedal there. It's lap one, you've got to be a bit more careful than that. But anyway, so someone's wide, and someone's actually. Oh dear.
No.
Oh no. Bala in the Walla. Let's see what happened to Fabian Bala. That's he will recover to the pit lane. He'll put a new rear wing on that. It'll be a. Oh, it's crabbing quite significantly. That'll be a 1 minute pit stop.
Oh man, they're not having the best day again here.
Yeah, what happened though? Like. It's very unusual to lose that there by yourself. So Szymon's clicking away in the background on the replay, but I'd like to see what happened there.
Sure, if I say something like maybe dirty air or some missed weight transfer and then lost it. I couldn't imagine anything else right now.
I would not like to speculate what happened there until seeing it. Now we're going to see it. And then, let's see. Okay. Oh, he just ran right on the curb. All by himself.
And there was also the Astro right behind there, and that's also very slippery, so...
Yeah, it's
no
the,
grip.
yeah. Oh dear. Not good for TX3 so far. Gobby's back up to P10 though. Although one of those positions because his teammate's just taken himself out of the running. Yeah, it's a very long pit stop. It's almost, yeah, I would almost give that up. Well, it's only 33 seconds, but still. It's a 1 minute time loss at least. In fact, Capellini's 1 minute behind, so yeah.
It's not easy to pass here, as we see like Gobby was sitting safely in 6th, and probably saying was like keeping like with Singh, but yeah, it's difficult to gain back, but they've lost after this here, and since it's especially difficult to pass here. As nice Sandip against Shikora, I think, here for 4th.
Yeah, side by side into turn 2. This will be fun. Singh's not giving it any room on the inside. Dives back down the inside of Shikora, but Singh's still there and sweeping through. Oh, they make contact! Oh, I don't know if he left him enough room. Singh deserved a full car's width. Did he get one? He is furious, I can tell. It took him a while to select gear and carry on, but we'll see on the replay. This is my point. This is my Alex Lahou point. That's a precise example where it doesn't matter if you were in the right or not, if you'll deserve extra space. It's not worth the risk of sending it down the inside here, even though he's fully alongside and deserves the room, because, yeah, you see, it's just one of those corners where it's almost impossible to run side by side with people. I mean, technically, he's been given enough room because the rules say you have to have a car's width, and frankly, when they make contact, there's more than a car's width. So he won't get a penalty for that, will Shikora. Yet, Singh will feel hard done by, but it's frankly, Singh should not be putting his nose in there in such a fast corner. It's better to just take your medicine and back off. Now, obviously, it's frustrating for Singh. Lawless in already, by the way.
I really hate situations like this, because like there's that tiny crossover point between, you know, outside car trying to make the turn, on the inside car slightly on the steering, as we have Luke Mitchell like slightly sliding past Sophie Jones as
sweeping through. Yeah, that was a big old cut across by Flavio Zongoli. He likes to yeah, that was a big cut across by I can't finish these sentences, I'll get in trouble. But Zongoli makes his way through and passes the pair of them. He's got one license point remaining. So that was a brave chop off the nose of Luke Mitchell there. But nevertheless, all's well that ends well, and they move forwards. But yeah, Mitchell was full lock sideways under braking, wasn't he? And it just looked like he was never going to stop.
Just about avoided the front wing of Sophie Jones. I think even she opened up the steering a bit, but past went Zongoli with I mean, if two battle, a third one's lucky.
Yep, that's true. Noise, third party a battle, nice and easily.
Doesn't seem here like Dylan Platt is really trying to get Francesconi here, even though he could, since Francesconi also on the straights lost the DRS and could be like easy game as we have. Oh, Silver Job is spinning after chicane.
Yeah, Joffe was involved in that lap 1 collision. I wonder if he still has significant damage. He's 66 seconds off the lead now.
It seemed like he didn't pit yet, so could be that's still on it.
Let's see what happened. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, way too much curb. Not much more to say about that, really. It's just too much curb. The orange undercuts don't like these cars. I mean, they produce all their downforce from underneath. Well, a lot of their downforce from underneath the car, but Berzins is out of the race. I'm not sure what happened to him, but his debut for Valley Esports not gone quite so well.
Could say
what happened there.
Could say it was like the Porsche Super Cup line, but it's not a it's not a Super Cup car.
No, those things are about.
Ooh, over in the pits already.
Yeah, that is. Well, I
Well,
wonder if he's probably doing a 3-stop, isn't he, or something? It's, why not? Why not have a bit of fun?
The 1998 strategy. I like it.
Very good.
And he comes out in free space. Nice, very good.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what the pit lane delta was there. So he was about 3 seconds. Yeah, he's come out on medium, so yeah, this will definitely be a 3-stop. Which is a quick strategy here, by the way, in Superlights.
Could also help avoid the hardest compound here if not really liking it. We'll see. That's... Oh no.
Herlock's out. What happened to him? Well, he's missing a rear wing, so I can imagine there's been some contact with something. Probably a wall. Okay, we've just missed that.
Not the Formula Ford car. I've also missed that Bursins for Volley and Zongoli is out. I've just noticed that.
This will be... Oh no.
Oh no.
God's sake.
Oh no. That's it. Final name, I guess.
Who was that?
That was one of the HG Blue podcasts.
Who was that?
I'm gonna say it.
He's not already missing a front wing, and this is one of the worst rejoins I've ever seen. That is terrible from Flavio Zongoli once again, and that will be the end of his season. I hope.
If get another
that is
5
awful
points.
Driving. Once again, terrible driving from Flavio Zongoli. It's been ongoing this season. That is shocking. He's rejoined in the middle of the corner with no front wing and wipes out Joseph Herlock. That is horrendous.
I really wonder where he lost that one, to be honest, but it doesn't matter in the end.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see a replay of that either. It's just not worth. It's not worth talking about it anymore. Dominik Horashevin is up to P4, which would be by far and away their best result so far of this season if they can stick there. Obviously, starting on those hard compound tyres at the start of the race will help massively. But of course, he's massively overcutting the soft runners now. And Dominik driving very well, actually, for Team Balash.
He's basically been on the outskirts, more or less, of the top 10, so with all the shenanigans happening today again, and maybe some big caliber drivers missing, it could be a top 10 result if he can keep it up.
Well, yeah, depends how many more drivers take out other drivers, doesn't it? It's already loads of people DNFs. Mogyoród sweeping through on his fresh set of tyres, moves up a position past Remco De Zeo and up into P5. He's got a massive undercut on Dylan Platt, by the way. And Francesconi also. So those two absolutely miles behind Mogyoród. It looks like he has taken net lead, and that I would say, considering he's on mediums, he has got an extra pit stop to make, but that is playing nicely into Mogyoród's hands.
Yeah, as Francesconi did pit just now, and the gap is already, what was it, like 8-9 seconds on track, so probably lost a bit more on the two laps that Owen was on the fresh medium compound then. Unsolvable right now.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Gobby up to P4 after Brody Lawless turned him round on lap 1, so he's recovering nicely. Still on those soft compound tyres, trying to run them a bit longer. He's being hunted by Owen Mogyoród on those fresh mediums. The longer Gobby can hold him up here, the better for his overall race. They are in slightly different races right now. But yeah, we'll see.
This is also where Gobby is still trying to, I guess, make a difference. I mean, the longer he goes, of course, the worse will his softs get, but like by his driving standard, he could still well keep his pace quite a bit up and maybe then later get back some places. As Owen is very aggressive here, down into turn 2, but he's through. And now up behind Koroshavin, who is now leading the race for a tiny bit.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
great. That's great fit. The comments in the Superlights thread on Discord are very fun. Berzin's not happy either. He's DNF'd, but I'm not sure what happened exactly to him.
Oh. Oof.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is like the traditional moment.
Bi-week. Szymon, you didn't hear that, but Szymon went the bi-weekly Dylan Platt lag.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just like the bi-weekly Flavio Zongoli taking another driver out, huh?
Oh come on. Let's not go there. We said we would ignore it from now.
I can't. It was the worst. It's honestly been the worst driving I've ever seen. And I don't care. It's just so bad.
Koroshavin led the lap officially. Whatever happened.
Can we all give Horashavin a little clap? Because that is fantastic for him.
Well done.
Well done, Dominic Horashavin.
Scobie's in the pits now.
Yeah, Gobby's in the pits. So let's see where he comes out. He's now effectively a pit stop behind. So we'll see.
Ooh, ahead of Lawless. Oh, interesting. Already made it up on running longer on his old compound. I'm a bit surprised right now.
Yep. No, it's an interesting strat, but don't forget the C2 here. The tyre wear is extremely hard. I think you feel like the hards are worse than they actually are. This season in particular, they're not too bad. They kind of all stepped one step. How do I word this? All compounds are stepped equally. So you start on the C5, C4, C3, C2, C1. They're each progressively a little bit harder and a little bit longer lasting and a little bit slower, therefore, than the previous one. So it's completely like linear, but it's perfect in terms of strategy, especially in Superlights. In terms of what tyre you go for, as in the background there, Brody Lawless getting onto that curb of death, and just like Hygo Pulm earlier, holds onto it, keeps out of trouble. DeZeo in the pit stop.
Well, yeah, maybe also Brody. I mean, he's the newcomer to the SL2 car, so maybe tyre wear a bit higher, a bit less. I mean, I'm used to, even more downforce in such a car compared to the Academy and the FS2 car. So, 3 wide nearly as Koroshavin comes out of the pits, and there is Sikora, and it's wow! But Koroshavin still taking advantage of this and coming out ahead of them as
Lawless and Shakura still side by side though, David. Lawless is full sideways. They're gonna go side by side through that fast corner, and Lawless still trying to stick it around the outside. I don't know if there was room there, but he is overtaken by Shakura. But Horashavin, look at the time he's made up. It's P7 now.
Great, like if he can keep it up, he could get away, but. Difficult against Shikora because he also a highly rated driver after like his debut performance of Silverstone, so it might depend also on the tire compound, but I think they were all on the same.
Well, let's see if he was actually given enough room. So here's Horashavin out the pit lane. That's not where I'd be sending that from Shikora, but he does a good job.
Tight, man, like very close, but no contact, I think.
No, but here's the thing, though. Did he leave enough room on the exit here? Lawless gets full sideways. Did Shikora leave enough room here? Yeah, do you know what? He wasn't quite alongside Brody Lawless. The rule is you have to have the... I think it's the front wheels in line with the rear axle. I don't think he was fully alongside, so a tough one. But I think, again, you don't hang it around the outside of there. You just give the position up, you know?
Great.
Oh! Keep it out the wall. He does. And a nice little flick spin as well to finish that one. So, yeah, but that could have been so much worse.
Yeah, like I would say the same. Like, of course, it's so fast. I didn't quite look at the axles, but if you at that point at the outside on that turn flat out, then I'm gonna say it would be wise to pull back and prepare another move if you can. Although I guess Shikora is gonna be maybe a bit too fast right now, so But I'm gonna still say it like, yeah, you gotta pull back and hope for another opportunity to present itself later on.
Jan Shikora, P8 for TTF, is frankly a decent position to be in. But ahead of him, Khorashevin is is that Manikandan getting lapped? Staying out of the way? I think it probably was.
Seems like it because, yeah, it's the only PZW car. I think the other car didn't take the start, so...
Well, yeah, that was your name, wasn't it?
I didn't know that an anime was taking part. Sorry.
Do you think it might have? What I think might have happened is that Manikandan probably joined the server with a new account or something accidentally, because it does default to your name.
I gotta admit, I was really sure I saw 2 cars and Manikandan was the second already, so... I don't know. Weird, but yeah, just one there. But he got nicely out of the way, I gotta say, so... Keeping the battle alive here. As we have Remco Dessous coming from the back, being behind his teammates, so see if maybe at some point they decide to switch, or if they just keep information and try to get past Jan Shikora here. As Brody cuts it. Yeah.
I worry about his tyres. I honestly worry about his tyres. From a legality point of view, it's difficult to say. But yeah.
He's got either traction issues already, or I don't know. This car looks very, very nervous right now on throttle. Slight bit of oversteer moments there. Don't let it get too far, you know.
Yeah. Gotta keep
missing the word here.
Yeah, too sideways or whatever.
I got a better word, but don't let it get overboard or something.
Yeah,
more or less.
Yeah.
As we have Shikora attacking, and yeah, taking P7 from Khorashevin right here.
So it shows the DRS and how important it is to have DRS, which is why when Mogyoród broke it in those first couple of laps, that's kind of when it was going to be game over, which currently looks like it will be. Francesconi is closest challenger in P2, Dylan Platt a further 4 seconds back, and then there's an 8-second gap to his teammate Hager Pullman in P4, so the gap's opening up at the front. But this battle from it's Shikora, Khorashevin, Lawless, Dezeo, Singh is catching back up to that. Singh's had a rough couple of stints, hasn't he? 31 seconds off Mogyoród now.
I've completely... I mean, he had coming together with Shikora, was it already?
Yeah, but he lost...
And of course he lost so much time, yeah, but I didn't expect him to be 11th now, behind them. I completely missed that.
How did he lose 30 seconds, though? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was only a 5-second loss at that point.
I don't know, maybe another moment or loss of time after the pit stop behind somebody could be, but I've completely missed looking at him, so I don't know what happened. But somebody will probably let us know later on what happened or what the problem was.
For who, sorry?
Sandeep Singh.
Oh, is it? Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I was on.
You're still talking about him. I was just looking at some of the comments. Apparently, so we lost Berzins, Chris's Berzins. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Apparently, a little bit of contact with another driver.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Aggressive curb taking there.
Yeah. Well, you get away with it through that.
Here
though.
they trade positions. I was already thinking like Brody Lawless doesn't look kind of, you know, feeling okay with the car right now, so I was like kind of expecting when would probably Remco, you know, they switch places and Remco takes the charge here, and so they do. Good idea, to be honest. Maybe helping them, you know, take the lead, follow him, try to replicate, and I don't know, calm down to some point. Take it easy.
Khorashevin is hunting down Shikora again, by the way. So, but Khorashevin's on newer tyres. So, what tyres is Shikora on actually? So they're both.
Both.
Yeah, they're both on the hards. Yeah, they're both on the hards.
I saw that Korshavin also didn't. I think probably didn't use push to pass and didn't defend Jundt, and we have Luca missing his front wing there.
Yeah,
oh god,
it's
terrible day.
Not been a good day for Red Arrow, has it? What's happened here then to Luca? Too much curve on the chicane, bounces into the wall. No. Traction.
Seems like it.
He'll get away with no suspension damage there, because that was just looked like it was the nose. So it should just be a quick nose change in the stop for him, unless he has other damage that he's picked up elsewhere. But yeah, not a good day for Red Arrow. Luca losing his front wing there, and of course Joseph Herlock taken out by a human torpedo. Harashabin in P8 still though. Still like holding on to that position, and Luca Gray has come into the pits. Let's see how long his pit stop actually is.
I was gonna say like, no, what was I gonna say? I mean, of course we have several like one timer or first timer here, so maybe less time running and such. And of course, like other people have, you know, the regulars have things to do on these days, as Lawless is in now with his old tires. Probably also the standard drivers having less running time. So I mean, these cars are not easy to drive. So I think we've already said this like last time. So mistakes are not very far away, and Hungarian is still a difficult track to drive. So it can happen, even if it looked like so easy to do. Or I mean, yeah. So happens as Lawless comes back out of the pits, and he's still in P13. Was not sure about that white line there, but yeah.
Yeah, P13 for Lawless. Let's see where Shakura comes out when he takes his first pit stop of the day. Be interesting to see if the undercut is super powerful here, actually, or not. We will see.
I think I just mentioned back before we saw Luca Gray without front wing that it seemed like Korshavin made maybe the sensible, or to him the sensible option, that to probably not use push to pass against the overtake, and then just get like as he's doing it now, dragged along by Shikora and keep 8 for now and the points, and so wait maybe until later in the stint to maybe fight back, or I don't know, see what happens. It's probably the better choice. I mean, nothing against battling, but I think they're quite even on pace, and he probably doesn't want to lose more time, and they are still not that far away from Gopi, although it would be probably difficult. I think top 7, top 8 they are quite nice at the moment for them.
Interesting to see where Bala can recover too as well. Decent qualifying for them, and then of course put it in the wall by themselves. So let's see where Bala can get back up to. We know that TX3 car is pretty decent. Cobby up in P6 after his early race drama.
He's not far away from Huit and Luke Mitchell. Luke Mitchell having a bit, maybe, of course, more focused on this FS2 and more used to that car. Maybe also less time. But maybe I'm still a bit slightly surprised it's just P14, and Tom van der Voort is 12th, so he's ahead right now.
Well, I know Luke doesn't have, isn't using our setup for this round. He's using whatever dry cars, so but perhaps that's part of the reason. I know they've had traction issues for this season, or at least I can see they've had traction issues. I don't know if they feel that way, or whether it's just the drivers not being able to drive the setup as well as they would like to. Oh, it's not. Oh God, there's some stuff happening in the Discord. I can tell you that much. Noah Dormella not particularly happy. He is also out of the race. Didn't see what happened to Dormella, did we? Didn't see what happened to Dormella.
I only saw him pitting, to be honest. I'm not sure if he retired in the pits or if he kept going, but maybe I don't know what happened.
Yeah, is that recent? I wasn't actually paying attention to that. If you don't see it on replay, I don't always spot it. but Tuomela is out, unfortunately for him. Did you say we have a replay, Szymon? Oh, go on then. Let's see the formation lap replay that Szymon was mentioning. Okay, so he's just driving along as normal. Oh no!
Oh no! Ay. Now I know why they started from the pit.
Yeah, Manakandan running into the back of Tuomela. Apparently Manakandan has a screen freeze. Okay. Horashovin, slightly sideways, and I think his tyres are, if not going, slightly, as we see Manakandan 90 degrees to the direction he should be going, so possibly a little spin on the exit of the chicane there. Possibly too much anti-cut. Let's have a look. He's using a lot of curb.
Ow.
Do you know what? He's lucky to still have his front wing there.
Indeed, I was like thinking, earlier Luca Gray lost it like in the nearly semi. It didn't stay on. Okay. Weird.
It's frustrating because this is supposedly our, second best championship, and there's honestly I've seen better driving in Formula Sprint 2 than I've seen overall this season. It's been pretty poor overall. Not pointing fingers particularly, but
yeah. Although, of course, missing some. Of course, the driver's missing, the caliber of some guys not driving today, and maybe I don't know, with missing one or two cars as Lawless is on the attack against Tom van der Voort here. I think, yeah, and Sophie Jundt right ahead. Ooh, side by side, last turn. Ooh.
Yeah, Van der Voort's been one of those who's had an up and down season, and he's going side by side with Lawless into T1 here. Breaks a little bit later. He's on that rubbered up line and is run a bit wide there. That's pretty clean. And through goes Lawless then. So now behind Sophie Jones, who slightly misses the apex there. They're going to go side by side in this. I don't want to look. Yes, see, well done. Jones did a good job there. That's exactly what Sandeep Singh should have done earlier. Backed out of it, and they're both continuing with their race. You see, it's not always about going for a percent. That's a low percentage move down the inside there, and it's just going to end up in tears as Francesconi pits from P2, as does Owen McGorgy. And therefore Dylan Platt leads, and McGorgy comes out behind Igor Poom. So this is where the 3-stop versus the 2-stop is kind of at its interesting crossover. And McGorgy and Francesconi are both 3-stopping, whereas the likes of Platt, Poom, Gobby, they're all 2-stopping. So this will be interesting.
Seemed like Tia was probably more going for that strategy, because I'm not sure if they seem to be lacking pace a bit here and thus trying a 2 instead of a 3-stopper. I could be wrong, of course, cars are not that far apart, but it could just be suiting them more instead of just having to drive more, kind of flat out all the time, and preferring to just do 2 stops, although he's already on them again, or at least he's on to Poom here. 8 seconds behind teammate Dylan Platt. Probably a move on start-finish. I would not be risking it earlier, since it'd just be a done and dusted move, and there's nothing much really to risk. There's nobody on the same strategy being that close and a danger.
But Poom's defending, and as is his want, it's fine to do that, because you want to put your strategy, if you're on that 2-stop strategy, you want to delay the 3-stopper as long as possible.
Yeah. Although now it's through, and probably not gonna take that long to get close to Dylan, I guess. I mean, here I'm being a bit blind again.
No, 6.5 seconds up the road is Dylan Platt. You'd think that would take about 6 laps or so to do. But yeah, I mean, if Platt can delay him for a while, I mean, effectively they've both got to stop the same number of times now for the rest of the race. But the thing about the 3-stop is Mogyoród's doing that on better tyres, on faster tyres anyway, fresher and faster tyres when he boxes for the final time. So this kind of middle stint here for the 2-stoppers is crucial to delaying the 3-stopper race. It's very interesting, but it works in Superlights a lot more than it would in Super League because you have fewer cars to overtake in terms of direct competition. The grid is just more spread out.
There could also, I mean, it could also be looking well for. I mean, Platt, of course, racing our own Mogyoród, but compared to Francesconi, who is now having to battle past Koro Sharvin, at least some form of traffic in the way, that could help Dylan Platt to finish second in their battle on the podium.
Francesconi is the only other driver, I think, on a 3-stop. Everyone else on a 2. And I think those who started out the top 10, Horashavin leads that pack. He started on the hards. Silveryofa has had a difficult race, and this will be running wide onto the curve of doom and spinning, probably. Nice little pirouette. Very nice. Oh, God, no! Oh,
Careful!
for God's sake, man. Oh, Luca Gray must have had an interesting 5 seconds in his head then. He's probably going, please don't come across me.
Slightly shaken, not steered. But yeah, all fine. As Luke Mitchell is in, I see, at least from P15 for battle for the last point, as Ballet is still on track, not that far away from him. Of course, with a more fresher tires now, though, out of the pits. So we include everything a bit here, you know.
So yeah, Singh is not had a good race, has he? Not at all. I wonder if he had damage to fix at the first stop.
Yeah, it seemed off. It. Oh.
You didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. But Szymon said he had a 35-second pit stop apparently. So that explains a lot. Yeah. What? Did he repair after the contact? Because that would be crazy. He must have had a separate incident, I would have said, because that's, even if you have dark blue, I should explain, there's a damage system in R-Factor 2, there's light blue and dark blue being anything from 50% to 100% damage on that component. And then if it flashes, it means it's missing. But if he had like a suspension damage of dark blue in nature, even then, it's not worth changing your, or trying to repair that damage, because it just takes so long.
I noticed that, I'm not sure if Monty Condon retired from the race actually, so we just left with 19 cars.
Well, yes, he does appear to have retired, so not ideal for the Indian driver. Here's Luke Mitchell in the drag car. He's behind the recovering Bala. Fabian Bala. Is this his debut, David? I don't think I've seen him in the TX3 before.
I thought he already stood in, or was it? I thought he either was once, or I thought he was like there once before Schlüter had to stand in, but I was not sure anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Mark Schlüter's definitely done a few rounds.
Have to check there. Okay.
Here we go. Go on, have a go. Check for me. As Brody Lawless boxes for presumably a set of hard tyres, but who knows what exact compound he's running this race. I'd be interested to see if he survives the DC Wrath. So he does box. He goes back out on what appears to be a set of hard tyres, but it's not registering his tyres. Sorry, what did you say? He's sped in the pit lane. Oh yeah, penalty. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's have a little look at that, please, because that would be an interesting... Perhaps it was pit entry? Oh, but apparently as he pulls away, he's obviously disengaged his pit limiter for some reason. And whee! Off he goes, 160, and then he remembers it's a speed limit. Wow. I didn't notice that, Szymon, but well, he is a rookie, and that was a rookie error.
Ole has not taken part in a race yet. He's not registered in the... Yeah, on the just 3 drivers that have driven for TX3 this year, and that's of course Schlüter and not Ole. So yeah, I was wrong. Apologies.
No, all good. I didn't know. I couldn't remember. That was a very interesting pit exit from Lawless there.
If you speed that much, I think it's a direct like stop and go or something.
It's certainly a penalty.
I already missed it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's now dropped outside of the points because of it, as Dylan. And there goes Owen. There goes Owen McGorky now after a few more laps. He's passed into turn P1.
He did catch quite quickly, and it made light work of it. So yeah, this race is probably over from a competitive point of view. They've both got to make one more stop, and
Lawless has retired.
Well, there we go.
That promotes Ruid up into the points paying positions now. Good for him, I guess.
So starting in the top 10, Lawless span one of our potential competitors for the race win, Gobby, who's now P4 by the way, and recovered nicely. Span him out on the first lap, drops him down to 12. Sped in the pit lane and now is retired. I don't know why he retired at that point. He was still in the points positions. Obviously decided he couldn't be bothered to continue.
Could be the frustration.
Yeah, but still. I get frustrated at work, doesn't mean I go home.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, frustrated me would take the point for the team, but you know, let's just say like age approach. Like as a veteran, you do take anything, or
who's this a lap down? Is it Silver Yoffair? That's like about 8 blue flags that they've gone past here. Jump out the way. Yeah, I don't blame Singh for that. Yeah, I don't blame Singh for that. That was half a lap he was stuck behind him there for. Blue flags means get out the way. You're not in the race. He's P18 and last. And the worst thing about that is that it looks so bad. The optics of that look so bad because Singh was behind his teammate, Jan Shikora. So now it looks like it was probably just brainless driving from Silver Yoffair. But if it wasn't, it's worse because he was holding Singh up in order for Shikora to get outside DRS. It just looks so bad when that sort of thing happens. We've had trouble with black markers all season in this series, and Yoffair usually isn't one of them. So yeah, not good at all.
Yeah, I was like looking for of course in this situation, of course as completely more or less alone. I can't see the gaps there anymore. I should look on race view, but yeah, the best thing would have been just be out of the way when both cars come through, teammate or not. Best policy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a literal blue rectangle in the middle of your screen. It's not like you have to look for the actual flags like it is in real life. You'd have to look for the flags and the lights that are flashing, by the way, at you at the side of the track. It's not even that difficult. It's literally, the game tells you, because it sticks a big blue rectangle in the middle of your screen saying get out the way. And if you don't, what's the justification? Especially if you're last and a lap down. What is the justification? So now it just looks really bad. It looks like he was deliberately holding up so Shikora could get outside of DRS, which happened. I'm not saying that is deliberate, but it's what it looks like.
The only thing is like I'm not even sure if this is like sometimes even happened like mod dependent, or if it's just like changed in an update at some point that sometimes blue flags were really late coming up. But to be honest, you've got one car there, then he's probably does the second car. But I'm just saying, because maybe some people also use different, like, you know, kind of hot overlays, and then you've got a blue flag. Or I'm not even sure if you can actually set up the blue flags to, you know, be put in your face instead of just to one side. But I'm kind of still running standard game as Ole looks a bit racy here against Van der Voort, as Luke Mitch is looking on in P13 right now.
Yeah, let's have a look here. So Van der Voort goes defensive, Balla sweeping around the outside. Now let's see if they actually go side by side into this corner or not. Yeah, well done. Van der Voort backing out of that one, drives behind. See, Van der Voort's been around for a few years. He's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and I think that's the correct course of action through that corner. As Gobby has caught Poom, just imagine where Gobby would be if Lawless hadn't spun him through that first lap. He would have been fighting right up with the leaders, you'd say. Well, certainly with Plath and Poom. So we've been robbed of that by Lawless, who, by the way, is now out of the race in case you missed that.
Sounds like I was not that wrong saying I thought I was seeing him like still on the back of Sandeep and possibly ahead of Silver's off the track again. Hopefully no further damage to his car.
Not having a good race, is he, Silver? What happened here? Okay, yep, good. So, yep.
Acceleration again, interesting.
In a straight, but that was a straight. Okay, cool. So Gobby still right close with Poom.
Plath is in.
Plath boxes, yeah. So so that's his final stop of the race. So now you see with the two as Gobby goes down the inside of Poom. Poom did not make that too difficult. He knows Gobby is faster right now, but. So this is where Plath will now have a bit of an undercut on Mogyoród, you see. So it can swing the other way in this 2 versus 3 stop strategy, and he comes out just in front of Francesconi, does he not? Yes. No. Yes.
That's the blue bolt.
Oh,
is that the blue bolt car of Capellini, I think?
Yeah, you're right. I apologise. They are quite similar liveries in my defence. That's Francesconi.
True.
I mean, they're white from the front. They're not that similar, but yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. But Francesconi a long way ahead of him. I was confused by that, but yeah, there we are. All good. We move. Francesconi actually trying to get by Poom as well here. Poom's had a slow kind of stint here. He's up there, but has had a slow-ish stint.
Missed the apex there. Makes him open to an attack now, as I think Gobby is in now.
Yeah, Gobby's disappeared off the track, so he's undercutting against Poom as Francesconi on those medium tyres on a different strat and sweeps through into... And that will be a net P2, actually, because these guys both have to stop again. But, of course, Gobby trying to get the undercut now on Francesconi. So those used mediums, will they be slower than a new set of hards? I would say probably.
Importantly, still rejoins in 5th ahead of Shikora and Singh. So free track to go after Plath. About what is it, like 6 seconds? Yeah, that's manageable, I guess. Although Plath will be fast, so still kind of a distance to make up, but Gobby seemed to have the pace earlier. I think he's probably been way further behind, so looks good.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but Horashimin's boxed and Shikora stayed out, and Singh as well still out on track. So Horashimin will get a little bit of an undercut versus Jan Shikora. In fact, so of course Shikora's doing a 3-stop actually. So Shikora, because Shikora was in the top 10 as Poom boxes from 3rd place. So although they were together on track, Harashevin has 20 laps left on this set, and that will be his race done. So this will be interesting. So where does Poulm come out now versus... so he's going to be gobbled up by Gobby. Through goes... Oh, is Singh... Yeah, no, he's got out in front of Singh, but not in front of Shikora, look. So Shikora moves to P5. That'll frustrate Singh even more, I'd imagine.
Well, it was just important, at least for Poulm, to return at least ahead of one of two cars. Not great for Singh here, but they will probably be gone soon enough.
Singh's got to stop again, you know. He's on the medium tyres, so
yeah.
He's doing a 3-stop. 3-stop, yeah. So, not ideal for Sandeep Singh. This race has turned out pretty bad for him, actually. And he hasn't had the pace either, you know. Since repairing the damage, he still has not had the pace required to make the 3-stop work.
Yeah, it's a bit regrettable, of course. Like, he looked so good on for possible podium or fight for it, and then that unlucky coming together with Shikora. So shit happens, they say, but we wish it didn't.
You can't say that. Oh dear. Lots of interesting YouTube comments discussing the viability of SL2. Look, it sounds like I'm very grumpy all the time. I just wish that the driving was better, to be honest. It's not that SL2 has its place. It's a great introduction to the upgrade system and the format of Super League, which is our Premier Series. It's just the standard of driving needs to improve. That's all it is. It's not the standard of drivers, actually. I don't mind people being off the pace. I have no issue with that whatsoever, frankly. It's the standard of driving. And it's fine. You can say the top 4 or 5 drivers, maybe the top 8, generally in SL2 should be in Super League. And you can definitely say that there are better drivers in FS1 and certainly Mitchell in FS2. That standard of driver should be in the higher series. You've got a lot of drivers in FS1, the likes of Mike Quinns, Jack Mayer, Szymon on cams they're definitely Super League standard drivers. They're Superlights standard drivers. Some of the drivers in this series are not this standard. That's fine, but it's the driving that they do that just is just not acceptable. You know, taking out the leader or you know, driving off track with no front wing in the middle of an apex and rejoining. This is not acceptable driving. And frankly, as much fun as it's been to commentate on this series, it's got to improve. It has to be better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's being slow and then there's being unsafe, you know.
Absolutely.
Although you said you're the grumpy one, yet I'm playing James Hunt. Expletives.
Yeah, but look, I mean, look at Luke Mitchell, right? He's not on the pace of the leaders. Have you seen him put a foot wrong this race? No.
Nope.
No, he's a high standard of driver. Not quick in this car. Maybe not yet, or maybe because he hasn't got the setup working. He's not spinning out. He's not blocking the leaders. He's not taking out other drivers. He's not using the wrong tyre compounds. Not speeding the pit lane. Not jumping the start. Not doing these basic things that seems to have happened this season over and over again. Crashing into another driver on the formation lap. For God's sake, it's a formation lap. What are we doing here?
Takes 5th.
Poulm moves down the inside of Shikora, who, by the way, has been also excellent since joining the series. He is a good driver, as is Heiko Poulm. I could watch those two all day. It frustrates me because it's the basic stuff, man. There's this obvious things that people are just continually getting wrong in this series. over and over again as well. It's not just once. We didn't just have a bad race at, say, Australia, where no one could use the DRS and was spinning out on the back straight on that curved back straight, or Bahrain, where we had back markers getting in the way of the leaders on the final lap. It's every race, something basic is happening with the lower quality, I mean, frankly, lower quality driving from the back end of the grid. It's not, it can't go on. Owen Mogyoród boxes for the third time from the lead of the race.
That will make me remember those first two races as a spectator. Oh, by the way, I've noticed that Ragosa has, I think, very quietly moved into P8. I think he passed Remco on track as we were busy commentating driving standards and such. So nice comeback by him as well.
It's just annoying. I just get annoyed by that. Having to watch this every couple of weeks and wanting there to be a fantastic battle throughout the field. Like, we see some great battles as well, and just having to commentate on just utter rubbish. Ragosa, you're absolutely right, has snuck his way into P8. He's got by Remco Dazeu, and he now has his sights set on Sandeep Singh, who I can imagine is very grumpy in that car. He should be, in his head, I'm sure, right next to Shikora right now, but was delayed.
I was gonna say, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, driving standards, you don't have to be fast, you just have to be, you know, okay. But I was gonna say, like, we for kind of the competition side, as Michael Francesconi pits, speaking about Michael, we don't have his brother here today. So, like, one driver, we're missing Ragusa. So yeah,
Christian, we're missing Christian Francesconi. Yep. Yeah, he normally is here.
Technically, we would have had Liam Deval, who at one point I was going to say
his name's Liam.
He from driving, you know, craft or speed would easily be Super League. I mean, he basically won a race for Basilia last year, so that's one thing. And we're missing more drivers. Like, I could go through every team. You could say Mark Schlüter would be a very fine addition to any other team if he wasn't a reserve for TX3. And Michael Ayers is really fast, so you've got like Christian Pascal is, I think I've heard, in the hospital. So best wishes go out there. I heard something like that. So
hope everything's okay if that's the case. Wouldn't like to comment on. You know,
yeah,
it might be routine, it might not be. Who knows? But hope he's okay.
I hope I'm not saying something secret or something like that. But I was just gonna say, like, five, six,
don't worry,
seven
you're only talking to me.
6, 7 good people out there that are fast, but also most of the time a good driving standard, and probably boasting the field of like quality.
You don't need to. But my point is, you don't need to be quick though, David. It doesn't matter if you're not the fastest driver. Look. I've rinsed Tom van der Voort this season a few times for spinning out, but he's the sort of driver that this series is for. They're, you know, regulars, people who race for fun. They aren't going to be dangers on track. Jan Shikora.
Yep.
He's a good driver. Remco Dazeu usually is okay. I mean, he's had a couple of incidents this season as well, but another good example, Alexander Ragosa. Kardash, before he retired from sim racing, generally speaking, is a solid driver. Sometimes he sticks his nose where it doesn't belong, but he's a solid guy. It's the bottom half that just have not just been off the pace. They've just been, well, dangerous. Singh, by the way, I'd love to know why he didn't swap to a two-stop, because he's just been held up this race and has not made the progress his teammate has made whatsoever. Francesconi is basically a pit stop behind Mogyoród on the same strategy. So yeah,
that seemed like a missed chicane. I thought Shikora just missed the chicane a bit there.
It didn't cost him any time. It didn't gain him any time, if that's the case. I was looking at the gaps on RaceView, to be honest.
Yeah, let's see, like, if Sandeep has an answer. Sandeep Singh. I'm always keeping just like saying Sandeep here, but I'm gonna see if he can keep it off with Shikora and they keep fighting some more, or if he gets away.
You're right, Shikora did miss the chicane slightly. So Singh on his fresh set of mediums, he'll be hoping to at least catch Horashavin in 8th. By the way, great race from Dominic Horashavin. I know he's picked up a couple of positions, Herlock especially, and Lawless from drivers retiring, but nevertheless, he's recovered nicely. Or rather picked up the places nicely to be in P8, so good drive from him.
Yeah, I'm liking those three, like Gobi, Ragosa and Horashavin today. Like Gobi for his nice comeback, Ragosa also for, I don't know, I haven't even seen him much, and then bam, he's currently P6, and Horashavin generally just for like, I don't know, driver improvement and general pace today, really nicely for some points. So, Sophie Jundt is in right now, P15.
Does Tezeo have to stop again?
Oh, did we check?
Yes, he does. He's only used hard tyres so far, so he's going to do a soft compound glory run to the end of the race.
Ah, interesting strategy, but I'm also liking it. Only it's just like more like 10 laps to go. That's like the perfect distance to use them. Yes, there was no slight yellow. I'm not sure somebody's gone off right now, but it's already gone away. Oh, it's Silver. Silver has no front wing.
But I respect the fact that he's carrying on. You know, he may still pick up a point. It's not out the realms of possibility.
Yeah, more like, oh no, it's bad luck. Oh, something happened again to him. Not. Oh, whoa, no! Wow. Should I comment on that? I've heard that curbs deadly more than normal.
This is a 9.9 for style.
That was a complete...
My guy just did a kickflip.
Like an alien roll, and then that was actually, I think, through the panel. Technically. I should say, as Remco is actually now in the pits for his softs, I guess. Also looks like... Is it? Yeah, also on the way to a top 10, nice. And it's... No, he's actually... Is he... Oh, it probably hasn't changed yet. As we have...
His engine's on it's smoking as he comes out of the pit lane as well. Honestly, my guy just did a barrel roll.
Everything's going up in smoke and so badly today. I'm so sorry.
Lovely, a little curb bug. I wonder if that will be looked at for Super League on Thursday. I didn't know about that one.
I had the feeling there was a slight update to, I think, the front wing structure, or to the file, maybe. But I'm not sure if it helped or not. But I'm hoping nothing will happen, as we all do. As we have actually a fight for P2 now, being on 9 laps from the end with.
There's still 9 laps left.
Yeah.
How has that happened? I thought we were closer to the end than that. Gobi P3.
I'm quite sure Platt wished we were close to the end now.
Yeah. Gobi P3 has made it all the way back there with some very... He's got his head down and he just drove well. Okay, so what happened here then? Because Platt must have lost some time. Was it also on the curb of death? Oh, he's got away with that one as well. He's lucky he's still got his front wing. And the car looks pretty straight as well. We'll check back in on the start-finish straight if we can. See whether his wheel is pointing straight.
Completely missed it. I was like looking on the timing. Like a few laps ago, I was like looking, is like Gobi catching? And I thought like he was still like 3 seconds away. And I'm thinking it would not be worth it. And of course, then with this with this mistake, he's on him, of course, and depending on how the tires are now, in which condition, and the car itself is, this could be getting very spicy for Platt until the end of the race here.
Yeah, Shikora and Singh are very close to each other as well. So Singh finally catching up with Shikora. And Francesconi going down the inside of Poom, sorry. And makes the move into turn 1. Now, will Poom fight him back as they head into T2? Will he go round the outside? Francesconi moves over slightly on him, and through he goes. So Francesconi on those fresh set of mediums, as Shikora and Horashovin are going to go side by side. This has been an excellent drive from the pair of them in different ways. Shikora choosing to... Oh, is he sends one? No, it's not going to work. Contact as they head through into the right-hander. Shikora's going to have to live to fight another day. This is helping Singh catch back up with him, although Shikora fancying a look around the outside. There's no way through there. That's more just to kind of put off the driver in front, if anything. But Horashovin holding on. They've all... This is their tyres to the end of the race now, so Horashovin on those hards. Shikora and Singh both on fresh mediums. Actually, Shikora is doing a 3-stop as well, but has gone hard and now medium. So he in fact has fresher tyres than Singh. So we'll see how that goes as Gobby now on the back of Platt for reals is this time, heading into turn 1. And he will also have DRS here. It's a short shoot on DRS out of turn 1, but he's not close enough to make that happen.
Platt's still managing well, by the way. I thought it could be worse now, but he's still holding him off. And he's not actually being an easy target now, so yeah, hats off to that. As we have Shikora here, again trying to get Horashovin.
Yeah, and out the pit lane comes his teammate, and Shikora is not alongside as they head into turn 1. I think perhaps he doesn't have quite the straight line speed of Horashovin. Let's have a quick look. Very similar actually in qualifying. You'd think everyone is on the most straight line speed they can get out the car. Sorry, the most downforce they can get out the car, so kind of full wings here. Gobby then, resuming this. He's got plenty of laps left. It's not like those mediums will degrade too much by the time we get to the end of the race, so it's not a massive rush for him to get by Platt here. But Platt probably managed to save quite a bit of push to pass throughout the race, I'd imagine. He is holding on nicely so far. This time Gobby once again has DRS. He's slipstreaming the Englishman down the start-finish straight. He goes to the outside. There's a driver coming out the pit lane. Oh, and they're squeezing each other as they head into turn 1. Gobby on the outside. Platt gives him a bit of a hip and shoulder, and now will cover the inside of the corner as they head into turn 2. Gobby on the outside. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. There's no grip around there. There's no rubber line. And Platt holds on. We head back to this battle then. Horashovin with Shikora Singh and his teammate, Horashovin's teammate, I think that's quite a lap down, as down the inside goes Jan Shikora into turn 1. Horashovin finally having to give up that position. And through goes Shikora for TTF to take a well-deserved P7. But behind Horashovin, Sandeep Singh looking like he wants to get involved sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's looking good that Guit is... he probably can't do that fast lap he wants right now, but at least he's not, messing up this battle here, so that's also respectable to see. As we have Gobby kind of a bit further away now. He's nearly out of DRS range, and also in comparison we also have at least one of the Drake cars on fresh tires, who's kind of looking a bit kind of stuck.
Mitchell's got by Van der Voort now, so that's good news for him.
That's nice. Well,
but this is the wrong TX3 they're looking at. They would hope to be a bit closer to Ballard than they are. So Singh now on the back of Horashovin, and Horashovin does not have DRS from Shikora in front of him, so this should be relatively easy. Singh going down the inside Harashevin going to try and hang it around the outside here. Ooh, he's going to get away with that, actually. He's side by side. If he's got any push to pass, he'll be using it here as they head into turn 2, but he knows Singh is on fresh rubber. And that was sensible from Dominique Harashevin, who, by the way, is my driver of the day so far. If anyone was asking. If anyone wants to say in the chat who they think has been the driver of the day, feel free.
I was gonna attempt to do like nearly the same because like I'm huge respect and kudos to Gobi, like returning. Like he wasn't even on it, but he's basically now on the podium. And for Rogosa to have another good run to currently P6 and a rather comfortably P6, but Korshavin has looked to be so improved over this event as Gobi is going for second again, and he's in P2 as Platt. No, doesn't work on the outside.
Oh, sideways off the exit the corner, Dylan Platt. But yeah, Gobi taking P2, and as far as he's concerned, that'll be a good day for Gobi there. It didn't start out quite as well as it could have done, but he moves all the way back to P2, having been relegated to, I think, 12th on the first lap.
And
so that's it's good for him.
He's now higher than he started, if I remember, like a P4. So very nice. So his racecraft is really strong once more. As I noticed that Michael Francesconi here has actually also snuck up behind. Well, basically them battling together with the Drake. And well, if Luke, who I think that he still is, as Tom I think nicely already moved after the way. If he goes over, then there could be Francesconi even looking at Dylan Platt's third place, and that would be, of course, kind of disappointing that after his mistake earlier, if he would lose the podium now. They're all close together. Yeah,
but well, Francesconi's been quick actually. The last few laps, hasn't he? He's doing 21.7s, whilst Platt's doing 23.1s. So, by the way, Owen McGorgy has fastest lap with a 19.4. The next fastest lap is Silver Yoffair, who's put a set of softs on, with a 20.0, which I think just underlines how dominant McGorgy's been this race. He's 21 seconds in the lead of this race. And we've only had 55 laps, so he's, almost half a second a lap quicker than anyone else today. Let that one sink in for you guys.
Impressive. Just nothing else to say. Like, impressive run again. But yeah, Francesconi's been on it all race. It's just like, of course, probably the gap to Platt would have probably been a bit bigger if not for that mistake. So, while Platt probably on strategy might have had a bigger gap that Francesconi would have to catch up to, now he's on it, and he's probably, he's very much got a better tires. We'll see if Platt can defend by using DRS and maybe push to pass.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any defending this. I don't think there's any defending this. Francesconi's got so much more grip as they sweep towards turn 1. Platt's gonna throw it down the inside, trying to defend, and Platt is just about hang on here. Francesconi down the inside though as they head to turn 2. We know there's no grip on the outside. Platt will have to see if he can cling on. I don't think it's going to happen. And Francesconi moves up into P3, showing that the 3-stop actually has been the better strategy, But Platt threw it down the inside into turn 1. He gave it everything he had. Just does not have the tyres to defend that. But that was nice and clean, wasn't it? That was great to see, actually.
Yeah, very nice. Late on the brakes, but just really perfect on the line here. No wheel banging even, No, perfect.
It's astonishing.
Respect.
It's almost like they're proper drivers.
Just what we want to see. But yeah, the 3-stop then been fast, but my last probably Dylan Platt's hope last time was you hanging on with DRS as well on the straight, but it just wasn't enough anymore. If you don't have the traction after the last turn, you're well, it's very difficult. And Francesconi, of course, still he wants more. He wants P2.
Well, he could
Here
get
he
it.
comes.
Gobby's tyres are 6 laps older, but Gobby is a feisty man. He's going to defend for all he's worth. Oh, and he tries to defend the apex, but Francesconi was wise, tried to go around the outside. In fact, ran himself off the track. And Platt thinking there might be an opportunity to retake their position. I can tell you for a fact there is not. As through goes Heigl Poom, by the way, who's caught up this pack quite quickly in the last few laps. And he actually has fresher tyres than Platt, so Platt may not even hang on to P4 here. Depends whether those two are allowed to race or not in TR Geeks. There's only 1 lap remaining after this. So Mogyoród is going to win. It's all about who can be in second place. At the moment, Gobby has it. What a race this would be if there was no Mogyoród. But there is, and Mogyoród is 24 seconds now in the lead of this race. Singh is still not able to get by Shakura. It's not been Sandeep Singh's day at all. So Francesconi then, can he catch and can he overtake Gobby? He's right there again in the final sector. We know Gobby has been quiet this race. I wonder if he's saved up quite a bit of push to pass for these last couple of laps. You'd think Francesconi has a bit left himself. And they're all going to the inside. The 2 Drags as well, lap down. It's on the grass. Contact. They're hammering each other wide. Through goes Platt. And Francesconi all on the grass. He was squeezed there by Gobby, and now Dylan Platt takes P2. Francesconi moves it to P3. Before we see a replay, it is the last lap of the race. So we'll watch the replay after the race. But Dylan Platt sneaks back into P2, so Francesconi relegates Gobby all the way back to P5. Heigl Poom got through as well, by the way. So Platt now P2. They were side by side coming down into T1. Fully along the grass was Gobby, but Owen Mogyoród, all on his own, is going to take victory here for Road to Formula. Another cracking drive from the Englishman. He's going to finish 25 seconds ahead of Dylan Platt. Which, frankly, is astonishing as Francesconi and Poom make contact as they head into the final couple of corners. Francesconi's really got his elbows out the last couple of laps here, and Poom wants that position off the Italian. That would be a podium position for Heigl Poom. There's only 1 corner left, though, and Platt comes through to take P2 for TR Geeks. What an astonishing last couple of laps as Francesconi P3, Poom P4, and 5th goes to Fabrizio Gobby. Wow.
Yeah, my brain's a bit empty now. like such a he sold him the dummy there, and then basically wanted to close it, but somebody was there. But it's difficult to say. But he really got him there, as we see. Koro showing very nice P9, Rogosa P6, Sikora P7, Singh P8, Koroshan P9, and Remco de Sue finishing out the top 10.
Yeah, I would say Rogosa there. What a drive. Very quietly got to P6. What a drive from him.
Where did he start? I don't even remember that. I don't know. He's already. I've already got the driver of the day, like Canada, if I remember right. So it's another great comeback one, and P6 I think was it higher than Canada? So really nice drive by him. And there's the replay now.
Wow. Oh, he wasn't alongside when Gobby did that, so it's tricky. It's a tricky one, that, because Gobby sort of opened the lane and then closed it back off again. So I feel like it's Gobby's fault. I'd like to see that from track cams, to be honest with you, Mr. Replay Man. Let's see whether Gobby... So Gobby opens the lane and then closes it again. Yeah. That's on Gobby, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a two moves.
Yeah, it's 2 moves. Because he'd already made the 1 defensive move and the dummy kind of confused him. So I don't know if I actually assigned blame there or if I called Francesco. Ooh,
that was close.
Go back on that, Szymon. Sorry, what the hell was that?
I'm surprised nobody spun there.
Oh no, that's poor. Can't do that. That's That's a block. Nevertheless, P3 for Francesconi, P4 for Poom in the end, but Platt taking that P2 as a result. And I think, frankly, Gobby has himself to blame. But Mogyoród takes the victory for Road to Formula. I feel like that won't be the last time I say that this season. What a dominant performance from him. And I've heard he's racing it in Super League on Thursday at Hungary for the HRT Holland Racing team. And they have brand new engines for that race as well, which is a weird decision. But if that's the case, well, it is the case, he should be very competitive. So keep an eye out for Mogyoród if he is racing on Thursday. I believe he is. But he wins this one from Dylan Platt, Francesconi P3, as we saw, Hygo Poom, Gobby, Ragosa P6 very quietly, taking that P6, 7th, and an excellent result for Jan Shakura with Sandeep Singh doing donuts for his P8. Well done, Sandeep. P9, Dominik Horashevin, and P10, Remco Dazeo. Fabian Bala in the walls throughout in a couple of instances this race, so he'll be a little disappointed with P11. P12, Tom van der Voort with Luke Mitchell behind him in P13. Killian Huit in 14th, and Luca Gray takes the final points for Red Arrow. Capolini, Silver Yoffair, and Sophie Jones, the only other finishers.
I noticed that I think Sophie Jones pitted like just a few laps from the finish. I think she was like still in the top 15, so that's a shame for them. For Volley Esports. As I see a very sideways TX3 there in the pits.
Yes. So next we have Belgium, the Spa from Spa-Francorchamps in 2 weeks' time, which is a much more difficult track to drive than this one, so I'd imagine we'll see quite a few more incidents there. Let's hope not.
Very nice track though, although it will be difficult, especially like over Rouge and Radillon then, when once we're there. But whoever gets then the better run up there will be very interesting to see.
Hungarian Grand Prix next for Super League in 2 days' time. Please do tune in for that. We have a few people for interviews. I would like to hear quickly from these guys, and then I'm going to go because I've had a long evening on this broadcast.
Indeed it was.
Owen Mogyoród, let's speak to this man. How do you feel?
Good.
That was a nice, easy victory, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Yeah, we did a racing yesterday. I did the pre-stop. Sandy did the 2-stop. Found it was 20 seconds quicker.
Yep.
And well, I guess the other guys didn't think the pre-stop was quicker because of the traffic.
Francesconi did it. Sandeep Singh did it and didn't make it work. So I think you had the pace to do it. Nevertheless, are you racing Thursday?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? You either are or you aren't.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Thought so. That's what I said in the broadcast. I said you'll be very competitive there. You've got a brand new engine in that HRT car too. So
it's probably going to hinder me, to be honest.
Why would that hinder you?
I'll be horrible on traction. I tried
What are you
it.
talking about?
What are you talking about? I felt that an older engine was better on traction.
It's not.
But it is, honestly. That's what I feel, at least. But it's going to be quicker in the straight line, so it's fine.
Oh god, it's like when he says he does no practice. It's the same thing.
I did practice for this round. I'll tell you that. I did quite a lot. I think I've done more for Super League, to be honest. But
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see someone else competitive at the front of the field. It's been a 2-horse race the entire season in Super League, which is better than the 1-horse race that has been in Superlights, to be honest. So there is that. But well done, Owen. You drove once again magnificently today.
it is.
Let's speak to Dylan. Mr. Platt,
Hello.
how'd that go?
Well, a lot better than expected. I think it's fair to say we went into this race basically with no pace, 18.7s, qualifying pace as little practice. I think least practice I've had all year. Made one change to the setup and it suddenly clicked. So I think we call that. It's certainly the best I think we could have got today.
Fair enough. David, do you have a question for Dan?
Did you get damage in? We saw you go off and tap the barrier. Luckily, kept the front wing. Was there any damage, or did car handling change? So
Yeah.
apart from the time loss.
Yeah, the rear end was a lot more loose after the hit. I was hoping you guys didn't see that. To be fair.
I thought it was more like the tires going, so
we
didn't.
See everything.
Yeah.
We see everything.
I just was guessing. Like you also, I also thought you were probably thinking it was over once. Michael Francesco and he went through, and then, well, you got a second chance, and then you held on to it.
Yeah.
Probably also didn't think of it.
Well, funny enough, I said to Hygo, these two, what we need now is these two to hit each other. 2 seconds later, that happens. It's unfortunate to see it happen, obviously. They both drove great, and it was actually a really good battle up until that point. But, I'm not going to complain.
Oh no, take advantage of it if you can. Great one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well done, Dylan. Very good.
Thank you.
Let's find... Do you know what? I would like to speak to Jan Shakura, actually. Because Jan Shakura, welcome to the broadcast room. You've driven very well the last couple of rounds. I've mentioned it in my commentary. You've been kind of nicely consistent. How do you feel after today's race?
Good evening, everybody. And first of all, thank you. I really enjoyed those two races. Last time in Silverstone and today in Hungary. My target was just simply to show what I can do on the track. Last 2 weeks ago, it was maximum that P9 what I did, but today it was much better because I had more time to practice for the race, prepare. Today I made a good setup which suited to me, so it was good, and it was just only about make a good quali lap, which happened. I was really happy with that lap, and yeah, good start. In the first stint there was contact with Singh, which I'm sorry for that, but or I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but I think I left enough room for both of us. Let's wait and see. Yeah, so I had a little damage, had to repair in box, which cost me 3 seconds more. Yeah, maybe it could be P5, P6, or at least fighting for it. But I'm absolutely happy with the result we get today.
Good, you should be. Yeah, you've driven very well. So,
thank you.
David, do you have anything for Jan?
Actually, not really. I was gonna say about the incident, but I think it's about the same we saw. I looked a bit unfortunate. Just I don't know, it's like a crossover. Like outside guy gives room, and the inside guy just has a bit of understeer and then helps the other guy. But yeah, no, not really. I'm gonna add to Toby, saying, very good drive, Jan. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. As I said, at the incident, I haven't seen it yet from replay, so I will take a look. Maybe we will chat with Singh, and yeah, let's learn from it. And I hope I will be on the track next race again, hopefully.
Thank you. That's it for me. Any last? Well, I would like to say, I got a bit irate during that race, but it's the same people doing the same things over and over again that frustrates me. The standard driving has to improve in this series, and I hope with all my heart that it does. That's all I want for the next round. So apologies if I got a bit shouty, but it's just so frustrating. I give up my evening as does Szymon, as does David, as do you guys who want to watch some good quality driving. And yeah, it just has to be better. But anyway, thank you very much, guys. David, any last thoughts?
Not really. I was just like saying my own sorry for my happens comment, but it was basically from the heart exactly what I meant. Like stuff happens.
Yeah. Look, it's what it is. No dramas. Let's move on from this round. And 2 days' time is Super League. Joins for that should be better. In 2 weeks, it will be at Belgium. But until then, I've been Toby Davis. You've been joined by David Jundt and Szymon Frelik on cameras. Thank you very much for watching.